Hello, my friends. Dorothy here, longtime professional astrologer. We're going to talk about the astrology for July 6th. Now, my focus today will mainly be that we are in that first quarter moon. So it is when the sun and the moon are at a 90-degree angle to each other. So it's a waxing lunar square, waxing square. So some people call it the first quarter. I like to call it the first quarter. Other books will call it the second quarter. Basically square. What's going on between the two of these? We're going to talk about it. Sun's in Cancer, so we're looking for security and family and emotion and home. And that moon in the sign of Libra, right, is harmony and balance. However, when we have a square aspect between these planets, let me get my charts ready. When we have a square aspect between these two, it does create a bit of tension and stress. So I'm going to share that screen with you. Here we are. And so that's July 6th. Wednesday, July 6th is this square that I'm talking about. This is what it looks like on the wheel. I'll give you that if I can get my Zoom toolbar to agree with what I'm asking it to do. So here's the sun at 14 Cancer, and this is 90 degrees away. When the moon is at 14 Libra, it's a cardinal square. So that represents, a form of initiating action and taking action. But lots of times when we have this square, and again, it peaks at 10:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. You'll adjust to where you live for your time zone. Let me pull this closer so I can reach. When we have this first waxing square between these two, happens every month, about a week or so after the new moon. What happens is now we're in a period of adjustment. So the new moon that we just had, let me grab that. It was on the 28th, something like that. The new moon that we just had, it was on the 28th. So a little over a week ago, we have that new moon in Cancer. So that's where the sun and the moon were, of course, as a new moon. So we're setting goals based off of Cancer qualities. So again, home and family security, and how we feel the need to be nurtured or would like to nurture others. Things like that. So we're setting goals around all those very emotional things with home, family, and security. And now that we're just a little over a week later, with the moon making that square aspect to the sun, that moon in Libra is representative. Are things fair and balanced? Are we still seeking or need to find some harmony in regard to home, family, and those qualities that we just talked about? So that is what that looks like in just a matter of 7 to 8 day period. We have a little bit of tension and a little bit of stress that we're trying to potentially work through. I mean, of course, this isn't the case for everybody, but this is what it is. It's representing for a lot of people. All right. So what does that look like for you? So now I want us to, all right, before I move too fast. So I want you to think about that just from June 28th until this date here on July 6th. We'll even feel it into the 7th. What adjustments are needing to be made, right? Again, you might not have anything, so this might not be enough information or even relevant to you, but it is available to everybody. Yeah, and the moon is straight across the chart from Chiron, so there could very well be some flavor, or not flavor, but Taurus rising, I always talk about food. It has a flair for potentially a potential for healing, right? And for nurturing and healing a family wound or an internal wound. And again, if family stuff is just way too triggering for you, then don't go there. But you can use this for yourself in the sense it's like, what is healing and nurturing and caring for you? All right, what's your thing? Me, whenever I need anything, I mean, I do. I go to nature, I go to the ocean, I go to the lake, I go to the woods. Here in New Hampshire, a half-hour drive gets you to all of those places for the most part. And we have that T, it's called the T square between those three. So honestly, if you have anything around 14 degrees of Capricorn, which would on this chart be way over there, then you've got, a T-square going on, a cardinal T-square, which means there is action that can happen. However, it's not always easy. Again, that first square means there's a little bit of tension and stress. All right. Okay, so what I wanted to look at now, I want to make sure I'm still sharing the right screen. Yes, I am. Then the lunar gestation cycle. I love working with this. This is the work, the major work of Dietrich Pessin, and I love pulling this into all of my astrology, especially the forecasting work, because it really helps you, the client, if you're a client of mine, and even us here on YouTube, to really look back at dates. And again, not every time that we talk about these things is going to be something that is dramatic for everybody, but there are moments in time when you can look at this and say, yeah, I remember what happened back then. So I just switched the charts. Let me go back again. Here is that for July 6th. This is the chart for today. You could see that the moon is at 14 degrees of Libra. So 9 months ago, we had a new moon. It was early October. I'm going to put that chart up in a moment. And the new moon, the sun and the moon were near that degree. And here they are. Okay, they're in a different place because it's a different time of day. So this was October 6, 2021. That was 9 months ago. That's why this is called the lunar gestation phase, because 9 months, of course, we all know we gestate for 9 months, most of us, right? So here's that new moon on that day, and it is related to today, July 6th, first quarter, all right? So what did you begin here? Now, we had a lot going on that day. The new moon, it was just at sunrise here on the East Coast of the United States. So the new moon was at 13 Libra. Mars was hanging out right there, which is very energizing. Now, Mars in Libra is not the favorite place for Mars. Mars wants Aries or Scorpio. When it's in Libra, it has to do its thing through Libra qualities, which is balance and harmony and justice and fairness, right? And really seeking that. So when Mars is in Libra, it tends to feel edgy to begin with because it just wants to go and do without thinking of others, which is fine, but not in this circumstance, because this circumstance just makes it a little more difficult. And so we had this new moon on October 6, 2021 in the sign of Libra with Mars in 13 degrees of Libra right there with it. They were all making a quincunx over to Uranus. So it tells me that whatever goals and insights that you set at this point on October 6th, I'm going to have to go back and look. I looked at my journal, just my ephemeris, because I always write in my ephemeris, my daily ephemeris, to see what I was doing back then. And I just had clients. So I'm going to have to go into my personal journal and see, what did I begin? What was I initiating? What was important? How was I feeling? Or was I feeling like I needed more attention from my partner, Libra? Or did I put that in as goals? Did I set that up as a goal or an insight, right? I want more attention from a partner, or I'm feeling the lack of a partner. Or maybe something just really surprised you, because Uranus making a quincunx is even more difficult than the square we were just talking about, because the quincunx, there is nothing in common between Taurus and Libra. So we would have to we had some changing values back then. And hopefully now, by the time we get to now, you've redefined what those values are, maybe found a new sense of independence and freedom, and you're working towards that. So the lunar gestation phase, we have 9 months later, we're going to have from July 6th, we'll have a full moon around that same area. 9 months after that, we'll have the waning square. And then 9 months after that, we'll be back to another new moon. That's right around 14 degrees of Libra. And that's a 3-year from start to finish. But right now, July 6th, moon in Libra, squaring the sun in Cancer. We're really across from Chiron, really focusing a lot on our security, our nurturing, healing old wounds, finding that balance, finding that harmony. Those are the things that we're working on today. All right. And I failed to mention this in the beginning. If you're new, hang on. We're not done yet. We're going to do Astrodice. And if you are new, go ahead. And hello, welcome, hit subscribe. And then we're going to do cards. I know the experts on YouTube say, don't tell people to subscribe. Never do it. I'm going to tell you anyways. All right. With this, as we ask extra, is there anything else we need to know? Spirit will roll the dice, and we just have Spirit give us that. I rolled them earlier, and I got Saturn and Capricorn in the 10th house. So it's like, yes, I am working late today. That's what that is. And so you could also just ask a question if you have a question that you want. I will interpret it. And we have Venus in Virgo in the 11th house is what I rolled. So for those who haven't seen the Astrodice, there's Venus, Virgo. Oops, there's the Virgo and the 11th house in the 11. So that's what these dice are. They're fantastic. I did buy a new pair. I'm trying to get some wholesale, guys, so I can get them on my website so you can buy them right from me, but I'm not having any luck getting a wholesaler. I used to have one, but not anymore. Venus in Virgo in the 11th house. Venus in Virgo. Venus is particular. Venus in Virgo is very particular. Venus is what I love, what I value. It's finances, it's money, it's relationships. So it's all of those things. What I love, what I value, finances, relationships. It doesn't, now all of these categories don't have to be active for you. So pick and choose. In the sign of Virgo means we're focusing on the details. In the 11th house means it's really important that we share this with our groups, our associations, the collective people, the people that are like-minded people. So that role was all about, again, yeah, I got it. Focusing on the details. I don't think I can come up with anything else at this point in time. Focusing on the details, values, what I love, what I value. It's very important to me. I want to be able to do it every day, especially if I love it, especially if it does stuff for me. All right, while I'm shuffling, one more thing just to get us grounded. I like this deck, Native Spirit Oracle deck by Denise Lynn. It's fantastic. I like it. Probably find something else earthy sooner than later. I haven't shopped for a new deck in a while. I don't do the tarot, but the Oracle cards are fun to do. How are you doing? Making it through? This first square can feel stressful, and it'll kind of be in play for a few days. So, oh, this one is facing the opposite direction. It's the owl medicine. I pulled that one the other day. It didn't get shuffled in. I was like, why is the border different? If you'd like to support me, please come over to Patreon. I do a lot more in-depth content there. I'm about to do the month ahead, and the month ahead, the astrological month ahead, not the calendar. Well, you guys, didn't I pick that yesterday? Owl medicine. No, I think it was the white buffalo was yesterday. Eagle medicine is about focus. It's about keeping an eye on the bigger picture. Is completely opposite of what Virgo is. So the eagle medicine, is a very high vibration. It is looking at the bigger picture. Again, this is so connecting to nature and the bigger picture. So even as I am being hyper-focused on the details of an individual day, this card reminds us that it's also just a day. So look at the bigger picture. So if something doesn't feel right today, or is upsetting you today, or none of this makes any sense to you today, that's all right. Look at the bigger picture. And I know it's not all right to feel bad, but look at the bigger scope as best you can. All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Blessings and namaste.